sense that we don't have any portion in the Constitution that allows the lower, that allows. So at that point, in my opinion as a lawyer, Edison Ehi, at that point wherein he declared the seats of Martins and others vacant, it's unlawful and unconstitutional. He does not have the constitutional rights to do that, because you can't find anywhere the Constitution said that in such situation, if they don't have two-thirds majority, that the sitting and declaration can go. The Constitution only allows two-thirds majority of members of a house to take a decision that affects the House of Assembly and well-being of the state. So, but the courts haven't assumed jurisdiction and made an order. It is the law. It's either you set aside the order, or in some instance you appeal whatever order of court. Like the order from Justice C.M. Wale, it's lawful. It is the process of the court. I think and I believe that the other parties know what to do, either file to set aside the order as made, because it is not a final order, it is not a judgment, it is just a temporary relief sought by a party, and the court, equity doesn't act in vain. So the court in that instance have made an order protecting the rights of the applicant. Right. So if you think the order is not, you know, in favor of you, you either apply to set aside or you go to the higher court. Right. Yeah, so that is the position.
Now, Mr. Gochukwu, in order to clarify an information you gave out, because it's very important that when we're on national TV, we lay facts, right? So when you talked about the 27 lawmakers attending an APC Thanksgiving, I need to correct that, because I had to do my research right now, and the Thanksgiving was by Tony Okocha. It was a personal Thanksgiving, and it was a triple Thanksgiving. And these are the reasons for the Thanksgiving. He was doing the Thanksgiving first for his appointment as member representing Rivers State in the Management Board of Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. Now, the second, he is of the APC. And one of the reasons for the Thanksgiving is for his emergence as an APC. Yeah. But it's also important to know that he had other reasons for the Thanksgiving as well. So singling that out and saying it is the APC, the political party that was having that Thanksgiving, is wrong information.
Okay, now it's important to also state that that activity, those that attended, the assembly members that attended on the capacity of members of that party.
You cannot say that.
We cannot rely on that.
Because this is a personal Thanksgiving.
Now,
if I may ask.
Okay.
There are certain Labour Party members in Rivers State that are still bona fide party members.
Yes.
Are you aware that when the governor is doing his Thanksgiving, these Labour Party members attend as well?
Yes.
And so does that make them anti-party?
They clearly acknowledge, like especially the House of Rep member from Port Harcourt, clearly states this there, that he's a member of the Labour Party. Now, my clause, I said they attended us. It doesn't mean that there might not be non-partisan people that attended the activity.
You cannot
in fact,
you can acknowledge their attendance.
Do you know why I even find
not to say that they went
I even find some of these arguments very funny, because it's just like going to a haystack and arguing about a needle. These persons, I stated also here that Tony Okocha, which you've acknowledged as the acting chairman, caretaker chairman of the party in the state, have made more than one press releases acknowledging these people as the member of APC in this state. You can also research that. Also, even when the issue of their seats about to be made vacant and all that. He came up in defense of these people, acknowledging that his party members. He has also asked his party members in the assembly to resume impeachment proceedings against the, so if, that's why I say some of these arguments are, the argument of if they are...
No, it is, no.
Do you know, because...
See, I do not have problem with everything you are saying, right? I am not even questioning that. But my job here is to make sure that facts and only facts are laid on the table. So even if you make one single statement that is not factual, I will bring it out. So it's not about bringing a needle out of a haystack.
It's fine. However, it's also good that we've also acknowledged that they attended an event of such. The only divergence point there is that it was organized by the chairman and not the...
It was organized by an individual. All right, very well. An appeal court sitting in Port Harcourt will deliver a ruling on June 2, 2024 on an application brought by Pro-Wike members, lawmakers led by Martin Samehule against the decision of Rivers State High Court, stopping them from parading themselves as members of the State House of Assembly. This follows a suit filed by the pro-Fubara faction of the Assembly, led by Victor Okojumbo. The Rivers State High Court, presided over by Justice C.N. Wale, had issued an ex parte order restraining Amehule and the 24 others from parading themselves as members of the House of Assembly and holding any sessions. Mr. Ndamzi, this is a follow-up of the first discussion. What do you have to say? Apparently, Amehule and the others have gone on an appeal.
Yes, it is their legal right to approach the higher court in this instance, because if I am in court with a party and there is an order which I think will affect the substantive case in question, the law allows me my right to approach the higher court to get either an order to set aside whatever order the lower court, which is the high court, have made in that instance, or to quash the order completely. So we will just be patient, because we wouldn't say the judgment of the court or order of the court will be against
or in favor.
Yes, because it is right that when matters are before the court like this, we don't preempt the decisions of the court. But what I will hold is that parties are within their rights. Parties are within their rights to approach the court. The reason is to solve whatever be the dispute, and for us to have a saner society.
Now, they say the concern is that, you know, in Nigeria, there is this saying that the wheels of justice grinds very slowly. You would recall a case in this country at some point over a governorship issue. In fact, the governor at that time was impeached and all that, but much later, I think when he was even in prison outside the shores of the country, that the judgment letter went in his favor. But at that time, his tenure has expired. So would you call that justice? If the concerns now would be, how can the courts in this instance, you know, make the wheels to grind a little faster?
You know,
what's going on?
The court have processes. There are applications to file. If in any way I feel injured at that instance, while the matter is on court, I can approach the court via motion ex parte, asking the court for a particular order which I think will be within my rights. So if and you know, the court cannot on its own speedy up trial without motions or applications from parties. Emotional. You know, the challenge in Rivers State crisis is we have abdicated completely what the law says. People out there have gone so emotional to dealing with these issues. So we as lawyers, we advise that citizens out there shouldn't be emotional with these processes. Let us look at it squarely. What does the law say? and what the law didn't say. If we are able to decipher all this, I think we will be able to put it together and allow the wheels of justice swing. Even
though it's grinding very slowly. In a very heated polity. That's not waiting for the slow grinding of the wheels of justice.
You see,
isn't that you are of the judiciary?
I am not. I am a lawyer. I am not part of the judiciary.
Yes, but part of the arm of that government.
We have. I personally, I have criticized the National Assembly on different forums for not doing their job. In fact, in my opinion, the National Assembly have failed Nigeria from 1999 to date.
You're deflecting. You're going to the
No, I'm not.
We are discussing the judiciary.
Yes, we are. We are.
Okay.
Who makes the laws? The National Assembly does. So the onus is on the National Assembly to look at these laws.
This judgment or this order is rubbish, blah. But now, Amewule-led members are now taking the process as it ought to be. If there's an order by the court, you follow the process. You appeal it or seek to squash it, which is what is going on. You know, it's a legal process. We are not in a banana republic or animal kingdom. You know, there are processes. And you mentioned Justice Omotosho, one of the cases, not this even recent one, because I know that was the one you were making reference to. When
of the governor that was in prison.
No, not that one. As in the Justice Omotosho, okay. there was a case. There's an appeal that pro-SIM members decided that there were this slow pace. You know, wanted this matter of you know, determining if these persons are still members or not to run faster, because after appeal it goes to Supreme Court. We wanted it to run quicker, and there was this, you know, just like you said, some of this, you know, drag it, you know. So that's why some pro-SIM supporters are even happy that the Amewule-led people are now the ones now rushing to appeal, because we know, at least in our judicial process, people feel Supreme Court are even more, you know, more precise, more coincide with the activities, and there's a precedent. So there can be some persons, there are some sayings where somebody say, no, this thing can, if it gets to Supreme Court act like it, because Supreme Court would not want to counter, would I say, themselves in a way, per se. You know, so most persons want it to get to Supreme Court as quick as possible. Some persons will want to stall the process. So it's just like you were stalling it at this
times ahead. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll look at the Kano Emirates crisis. Do not go away.
In between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? Eh? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
Your electrician?
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't you said you don't behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
Eh? I dey greet you.
Corruption not in my country. Brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, I show you something. What? What's in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical what they put on for the plantain make ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
No water, no be chemical.
Water. You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am.
I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, can drink am now. I dey sell am plantain, I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
We will condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
She said 50,000 is 1,000 to collect 50,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
We will condemn this act and call for immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Give us access to our money we put in the bank.
She said 50,000 is 1,000 to collect 50,000 naira. Where are we heading to?
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth. The oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. As the controversy trailing Kano Emirates tussle continues, the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, has on Thursday made his first appointment. Now, do not forget that there is an order. asking Sanusi to step down, even though there is also another order, the same way, not favoring Bayero, who is the 15th Emir of Kano. When you're looking at this whole thing, now, isn't this saying you?
Let me start with your second question. You know, quid mubapto, abalo mubapto. Nothing is being moved that is not moved by another. Cause and effect.
Okay.
This incident here is not like the genesis. As a young man, even though I one of the governors then, a public servant under the governor, you know, so, but then we all remember how Emir Sanusi was disposed. It was from political officers trying to get some kind of influence over an age-long tradition. Yes, that was the genesis. How the emirate was rearranged, restructured.
By the State House of Assembly.
You know, so
Kano
that was,
State.
yes, that was the genesis of this. If this action is anything to go by, it is reverting the error that occurred. So you can't single this out to assume that this is a politician bastardizing. No, if we are to look both into then, this is a politician correcting a bastardization that
by another politician.
Yes, by another politician. So, and again, your second question, talking about isn't this a contempt of court? You stated here that there was an order that, first of all, it started with an act of assembly. Adu Bayero became emir because of an act of assembly.
Not just him, but you know they balkanized it, and then
that had that legal standing. And that same assembly, standing on that same,
has repealed
such law
and amended
it. So by virtue of common logic of life, who made can destroy or unmake. So by virtue of that understanding, he is standing on a legitimate ground. And then there is also an order that goes in his favor. And then another means I'm caught in between
both.
The one
that will follow you.
Exactly. Because if there are problems, the people having the problem is the judiciary. They should sort themselves out.
So judiciary is also playing.
Yeah, so they should sort themselves out. You can't ask me to leave the one that doesn't favor me. If I'm to take any action, and whichever action I take, I'm held in contempt, I'd rather be held in contempt by choosing the one that favors me.
Well, but then you know that according to the law.
First one. Now, the first one is the act of the Constitution, the act of the legitimate body empowered to recognize Emir Sanusi. The king is back.
Okay. Damzi, what is your take?
Yes, on the order and orders.
By Latif Wabemi to allow time for all parties to file their processes and exchange the same. He ordered the 36 state governors of the Federation to file their respective defenses to a suit instituted against them by the federal government, seeking full autonomy for the 774 local governments in the country. Let me start with you, Mr. Ugochukwu. What is your take on this?
As much as I'll give my own take, I'll be keenly waiting to hear the take of the legal lawyer here, because to me, I've been very big on decentralization of power, impactful restructuring of the country. I've been very big on that, and that's why I had very high hopes. First, I had the high hopes in the confab of 2014, which I heard that one of the things they've implemented from that confab is returning us back to Nigeria with AOD. It's a good thing. Then, and I also had high hopes during the constitutional amendment processes. And to my great disappointment, I was living in a state that was among the 7 states that voted against autonomy, local government financial autonomy, and the only state in South to do that, which is Rivers State. Rivers State House of Assembly voted against local government autonomy. But then, whatever is happening there at the Supreme Court, I think generally, holistically, it will be to the greater good of Nigerians. Yes, as a politician, we have political interest. If I'm a governor today, I would wish that I can exert more influence. But the moment I leave that office, I would wish that the other arms and part of government has some kind of independence, you know, because politics is mostly about interest. You know, the immediate past governor of Rivers State wield some kind of influence against local governments, you know. But as at today, you know, he would desire that local government chairmen should have some kind of autonomy. So the same way too, current governors now would wish that they should still hold on to their influence. But in next 4 or 8 years, when they eventually leave power, some of these laws, if it comes to pass, would be to their own advantage. You know, because no matter what, I've always clamored for a weaker public or weaker governors, weaker presidents, you know, to ensure that the people...
And stronger institutions.
Yeah, stronger institutions. I've always clamored for that. Politicians will always be politicians, will always have our political interest, but it's left for the people, you know, and other persons to ensure that they put that pressure and seek the balance. What I'm all on, that this should not be, as some persons suspect, that there are some kind of instigations from those that seek personal interest. But you cannot do that with 36 state governors, because it has to somehow conform with the general understanding. But let's wait and see what the Supreme Court will say. And I'm also keen to hear what, from the perspective of the law, from the point of law.
Ogochukwu is very keen to, to hear what you have to say, Ndamzi. All right, let's hear it. What do you have to say to this?
Yes, the Supreme Court is hearing that matter as a court of first instance, because the Supreme Court ordinarily, according to the Constitution, have the jurisdiction to hear matters affecting the federal government, the states, and the local government. So he pointed out about governors being so powerful and not wanting the local government system run very well. That is a fact. You see, the 1999 Constitution that was handed over to the civilian regime was a work in progress. It wasn't a finished document. Busy with buying luxury cars, wardrobe fee, frivolous allowances, severance packages, traveling all over the world. They have abdicated completely their role of giving us good laws that will affect the life of the ordinary Nigerian. Now, Section 7 of the Constitution, like I pointed earlier, gave the legislature, went further to create a state joint account. Okay? I remember in 1999, Obasanjo instructed the governors. And in my opinion, I think he acted on goodwill. Yeah. Because the reason he insisted on having that joint account with states and local government was basically because the Constitution said not just owning a joint account and bringing out the money for the local government. The Constitution went ahead to say to be... Yes, Oyo, let's look at Oyo instance. In the case of Oyo, the Supreme Court held that they should allow financial autonomy, and also the Supreme Court frowned at formation of caretaker committees. Supreme Court declared it unlawful and null and void. But there is a conflict of interest to legislate on local government. So at this point, it is unlawful as the Supreme Court, which is the highest court of the in the land, have pronounced it. And it is right that when beginning from the first leg of the question where you said that particular position needed ratification from states. Yes. But look at Section 4 of the 1999